Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. We'll be starting in just a moment. Folks are rolling in. Enjoy the smooth jazz in the meantime. For you old heads, you all know this song. Just my imagination. I know you young folks will want to hear this afterwards.
Hello.
Hello.
I just want to make sure I'm on.
We can see you. Yes, sir. We're going to ask everybody to go on mute, but we can see you. And thank you. It's nice to see faces as well. So thanks for coming.
Thank you.
You guys need 10 more seconds. I see you. Well, good morning, or rather, it is already afternoon. Thank you all for joining us today. I am super, super excited about our subject for today, procurement opportunities for sports and entertainment. And so there is a lot going on, as you guys know, in the city. And so we've got, we're going to share some great information. We welcome you for those that are new to the SBDC and those that are existing clients with us. Our role here is to help our clients to start, grow, and during the pandemic, it was survive and to succeed. And so we hope that you all are doing that, and whatever we can do to help you, we want to do that. I'm Colette Moore. I'm the director here at PCR SBDC, a former business owner myself, and actually had a small contract with the NBA All-Stars when I had my business providing some staffing. So there are opportunities here in the city. So we're super excited and to present our presenter. But before we do that, we wanted to take a moment and to talk about some procurement as well. And so we have Karen Blackwell, one of our PCR SBDC advisors. She's a specialist on the sourcing side of the house. She has a long background in procurement, supply chain, and working with businesses, small and large, actually, to help them to find the meeting of the minds where there are great opportunities to provide services and products that are needed by those folks that need them. So we're happy to have Karen's going to come on and take a few minutes to share that. For those that are new to the SBDC, we are one of 1,000 locations to help stimulate economic growth in the country. There are 7 in the LA area. PCR SBDC is located here in LA, and we are also connected to PCR, which for 47 years has provided lending to underserved and small businesses throughout LA County, primarily LA County. And so what we're doing, though, is we provide consulting. Hopefully you guys are taking advantage of the consulting, the one-on-one consulting, the training, which we're having today. If you are not getting our e-blast, Briogeny sends those out twice a week or so. That's where we provide all kinds of resources, grants as we hear them, other workshops that we're not even hosting that may be of value to you. And all of this is to help you to grow. And so we're doing training. I hope that many of you have taken the financial fitness courses that we offer. So we talk about funding, business planning, marketing, AI. There's so many different areas that we know that you could benefit from as small businesses, and all of this is no cost and no catch to you. However, it is your great taxpayer dollars that help to support this program. So we want you all to participate well. That means show up for your appointments and show up when you register for workshops. Is that fair? Yes, it is. I see smiles. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. So we're going to start with a question for you. And we want to assess, is your business ready to sell to large organizations? Is your business ready to sell to large organizations? So, where do you think you are? Not ready yet. You think you'll be ready in 6 to 12 months, or you'll be ready in 2 to 3 years? What does it look like for you to sell to large organizations? All right, thank you. I see the answers coming in. All right. I think you guys are moving. We'll wait 10 more seconds. Go ahead, put your answers in. We will go ahead and end the poll. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you don't have access to it, go ahead and put that in the chat. All right, so let's share these results. So this is great, you guys. Many of you feel like you could be ready in 6 to 12 months. That is awesome. And I am excited because our advisor, Karen, is on, and we may have a couple of others that I can't see, but our role is to help you to get ready. So if you feel like you're close, that is wonderful. How can we help you? For those that are not ready yet, this is an opportunity for you to get on path and to get on track to be able to do that. And for those that could be ready in 2 to 3 years, same thing. Let's see what's needed to get your business ready to grow. You all, I'm looking to have more $1 million and over in revenue businesses, and I am hoping that many of you on this call are going to be in that group. Right? Let's grow up here in LA. So thank you all for sharing that. And I think that gives our speakers a sense for where you are in your work progression. Now, one of the reasons that we are bringing this to you is because we have this vision. We're calling it the road to the Olympics for small businesses, right? The road to the Olympics. Now, it would be hard for most of us to be ready at one time at the Olympics. So we're calling it the road to the Olympics. Our speaker's going to talk a lot about that, but there are all these great events along the way to help you to get prepared. Start small, test, get your product right, get your services right, get your staffing right, get your funding ready. All of those things that you'll need to do to get ready. So we see this as before the big giant Olympics comes, and it's going to be here, I think, almost a month. Oh my goodness, it's like a month with Special Olympics. That you are getting ready all the way up. You're stepping your way up to these bigger opportunities, and people will see you as a great resource. And so, with the right businesses and the right support. So with that, as you all know, we are on the road to the Olympics. I hope you're strapping in, got your seatbelts on. Let's go. And I'm going to turn it over to Karen Blackwell, and she's going to take us through some background so that we're starting to get prepared on our sourcing side, making sure that we're ready. All right, Karen, all yours.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm Karen Blackwell. My experience, for those of you who know me, I'm with PCR now. I was the manager of supplier diversity and development for Nestle for North America for many, many years. I've also owned a small business. I still have my business. And so this is a journey that we're on with you, right? Just like I love this picture because there's not one car on the road, right? There are a lot of cars and they're all trying to get there. And that's kind of how we are. There are a lot of us and we're all trying to get there. So I also, in looking at this picture before I go to the next thing, I was saying, so like when you're on the road, what do you need? You need gas, right? You need directions, and you need to have the willingness to get there, right? Those are three things. And in business, your gas, your fuel, many times that's going to be money and resources. You need to have directions on how to get there, which means you need a plan. You just don't get in the car and then just start driving. You lay out which way you're going. How are you going to get there? So that's going to be your plan. And then the willingness to get there. You've been behind people who all of a sudden start seeming like they're going slower and slower. You get antsy. How are you going to get around them? Sometimes they really have lost the desire to get there. So what does that mean you need? That's leadership. That's leadership. They're directing that car. They're using the resources. They're putting on the gas. They're making a decision to stay in this lane or go to the next. That's what you're going to have to do on this road to success. So we can go to the next slide. So I've had many roles, and I have found that the most successful small businesses in those roles when I've been there, and also for myself, has been understanding the landscape. We just showed a picture. Everybody's trying to get to the Olympics, but you need to know when you get there, where are you going to fit in so that you can go to the right place? When you're talking to buyers, you need to understand the bigger environment. How are things being done? Can you be a direct supplier? Many times the contracts are going to be very large, and what you need to be is a subcontractor. You need to understand the environment. Who's going to be leading? How can you contact them? What are the resources they're going to be making available to you? So here's something a lot of people really don't understand how sourcing is done. So in this environment, you need to have buyers, and that's what Simona and the other people from Sony, from all of these places, they have buyers, and the buyers are always looking for qualified suppliers. But how do you present yourself as a qualified supplier? How do you learn what it is that they're doing and what they need so that you can present yourself as a qualified supplier? That's where you fit in the sourcing. It's really at the beginning. So if you know that the Olympics is going to be in a year, that's kind of late because they figured out what they needed long before that. And they started putting together that strategy when they were looking for qualified suppliers, and they asked their big suppliers to help them out by finding small businesses to bring into the mix. So that's how we look and talk to buyers. What is it that I have? What is it that my business can do that's different? Because what you're trying to do is unseat somebody. That's a heck of a thing to think about. But most major corporations, businesses, they know what they need. And they're not showing up saying, well, I wish I could, have a team if only I had some uniforms. Like, it doesn't work like that. So they know what they need at the outset. So that means that you need to be able to talk to them when they're in the very early stages. So you can show them what you're doing. How are you going to help them get there? And then we say, well, in that, just going back for a second, assess relationships where existing suppliers are reviewed. So when we're talking about all of this, not only are you thinking about new opportunities, but you need to think about who do you know that's already in the mix? Who do you know that was part of the Super Bowl? Who do you know that does big events? Who do you know that works at SoFi? Who do you know? Because everything is actually relationship driven. You have to be able to perform, but you have to get noticed. So you want to talk to existing suppliers, you want to talk to your relationships, you want to be able to showcase what you can do. So let's go to the next slide. So how do you differentiate your business? As I said, you're trying to unseat someone. So when I was with Nestle, and I need to really talk about that experience because Nestle's the food company in the world. So what we learned was that everybody was on a road like that trying to get to Nestle. Everybody. I have a flavor. I can mix chocolate. I like candy. I can do dog food, whatever, right? But what everybody needed to understand is there was already somebody knocking on that door. There was a buyer who was already talking to somebody who could provide that. So we need you guys to know how to differentiate what you do so that you can capture the buyer's attention, capture the organization's attention. So you want to develop new technologies, new ways of working. One of the biggest things that small businesses bring to the table, believe it or not, are cost savings because smaller businesses have less overhead. So if you can deliver and you can deliver in a way in which you show you can bring cost savings, that's huge. So you want to develop new technologies because it's technologies that are allowing small businesses to be more competitive through automation. What is it you're doing? How are you going to be able to show that you're using technology? You understand their technology. You want to create time savings. It's the world in business is either divided into time or money. Time or money. So you want to be able to show, sometimes you might not, as a small business, be able to compete with somebody who can do volume, but maybe you can create time savings. Maybe your customer service allows for a faster turnaround. Maybe you're able to do problem solving. Maybe you're able to just do that wiggle room so that you can create advantages in that way. Mitigating supply chain risk. So what we have seen through COVID, and if you're watching the news, like I subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. It's very conservative, but it really talks about business every single day. And what they're talking about all the time is risk, 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 risk. So when they're talking about log jams at the port of Los Angeles, so that meant that there was a while in which we were thinking, do we want to do business and bring everything from China? Because if there's a problem, we can't get it here. What are we doing? Sir, I can't see that, but if you put it in the chat, I can probably pick up what it is that you'd like me to see, because I'd be happy to interface with you. But put it in the chat and then they can help me see that. So mitigating supply chain risk. One of the things that's really been really good for small American businesses is the best way to mitigate risk is to bring everything back to the United States. So manufacturing that was in China and the Philippines and Ghana and Costa Rica, customer service, a lot of that is now coming back to the US. Companies are seeing, hey, if something happens, it's going to be easier for us to adjust and pivot if people are local. So local turns into an advantage for small businesses. Use that. So we want to develop new technologies. We want to create time savings. We want to mitigate risk. And then we know that local is the new normal. We want to leverage all of those. So key questions, because one of the things we're going to hear and you're going to hear over the course of the year is you need to get certified. Get certified. You need to become certified. But I want you to understand that certification is not the door. Certification is how you verify who you are. There's no magic key where they're like, oh, this is the pot of gold that we save for the certified suppliers. That's only in like fairy tales. But you can compete. The certification process works two ways. One, many organizations like Simona's organization, they have a funnel where they're looking for businesses, but they require that you get certified so that they know who they're doing business with. So you want to look at the certification process that is most applicable for you. You don't want to spend your time doing all the certifications. You want to find the one that makes the most sense for your business. Are you a veteran? Go through that door. Are you a small business? Go to the SBA. Are you a woman-owned business? Do WeBank, or WeBank also does WOSB. There are a couple of other opportunities there for women-owned businesses. Are you a minority-owned business? You might want to do the National Minority Supplier Development Council, or you might want to start with a free certification called the Supplier Clearinghouse. You might want to do that so that you can learn how to get all your documents in order and then leverage it. So you want to, if you're a solopreneur, if you have a team, you want to look at what you can support, because a national certification isn't that helpful for you if you can't support a national footprint. If you're a local, then go there. It probably will cost you less, and you'll begin to interface with the events that the different organizations or corporates produce, because when I say it's a little bit tricky. They are looking for the new, they are looking for the innovative, they are looking for the ones that bring the cost savings. So the best way for them to do that many times is to have their own outreach events. But when you get to the outreach event, you have to be ready. So you should have looked at their supplier diversity portal. Who are they looking for? How does it work? Do you have to register? You want to find out when you get there, what kind of certifications matter to them. It might be that when you read, a long time ago, we were taught, read the annual report. It was like, this is a boring term paper. Why do I want to read this? You want to read it because many times in that annual report, they'll tell you what they're looking for. Who are they looking? What kind of metrics do they report? If they report small business, you want to sign right up and say, that's me. If they're having a metric that says we're doing business in the local community, you want to get that local certification. You want to say, that's me. You want to understand what they're looking for. You want to position yourself to be able to take advantage of that. And most importantly, you want to have a demonstrated track record that goes along with the certification. That's the bigger picture. So if you can attend these workshops, you want to do that. So this is just just to show you that if you go to, this is the national, one is the NMSDC, National Minority Supplier Development website. You go there, you can drill in and see what corporations, what industries are there. So here, it's really tiny, but it's showing that Chipotle is looking for certified minority businesses. Coca-Cola is, Compass, and they do a lot of food service. But if you go in, they have over 400 members. You want to look into, see who they have, and then say, I think I could support them. Now you have a plan, right? Because we said you need to have fuel, which is money or resources. You need to have a plan. This is how you put together your plan. Leadership, you decide how you're going to get involved here. Same thing with WeBank. This is for women. They have on their website, you can see which companies are looking for women-owned businesses. Now, they're not looking for everybody. They can't possibly integrate everybody into their supply chain. But what they're saying is, if it's a woman-owned business who's qualified and has what we want, what we need, we want to meet you. So that's an idea of how certification works. That's an idea of how you should be getting your gas, which is your fuel, money or resources, your directions, which is your plan, how are you going to move forward, and then your willingness to get there. This is not for the faint of heart. Going into RAMP, leveraging your supplier diversity programs, meeting with your SBD business advisor, that's where your personal willingness to get there becomes important, because what we can do is cheer you on. We can't do the work. It's you as the business owner that has to do the work. That's really all I have to say this morning, Colette and Simona. I hope that that's a good lead-in.
Absolutely, Karen. Thank you so much for providing that information. It sets the foundation and tone for what I'm going to talk about today. So again, welcome and good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to take the time to thank Colette and her team for inviting me to join you all today. And thank you all as well for taking time to learn more about the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission and our supplier diversity program, Business Connect. Now, please note, in no way am I being exclusive, because procurement opportunities within the sports and entertainment industries, they're available and open to everyone. Our program, though, we focus on a specific niche that as it relates to procurement that I'll talk about a little bit later. Next slide, please. All right, so a little bit about LASCC. So before we start our conversation about Business Connect, I want to share about the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission, again, otherwise known as LASCC. To provide some background, over 25 years ago, LASCC has been very instrumental in bringing some of the world's most renowned sports and entertainment events to our city. There's no other organization in Los Angeles that specifically focuses on driving economic and community impact through bidding on, securing, and hosting major high-profile sporting and entertainment events. And so LASCC, we are a 501c3 California nonprofit public benefit corporation. The Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission actively engages with local diverse suppliers to maximize procurement opportunities in partnership with these high-profile events, again, through our program, Business Connect. Next slide, please. All right, so this is where all the excitement is. As I'm sure that you all have heard, we've had some great major events coming to Los Angeles within the next 4 years. I mean, earlier this year, we just had the 2024 NCAA Divisions Men's Western Regional Championship. Upcoming, we have the NBA All-Star Game, U.S. Women's Open Championship, and FIFA World Cup coming in 2026. And we have Super Bowl 59 in 2027. And of course, to culminate the sports world, the biggest of them all, as you saw on the road, the Olympics and the Paralympics in 2028, brought to you by the organization LA 28. These events, of course, as you know, Karen alluded to earlier, they present many opportunities for local diverse businesses. And as I mentioned to my suppliers as well, just as the athletes and others prepare for these upcoming events, you as local businesses must also do the same to be competitive in your business discipline. And Karen talked about lots of resources to be able to do that. I wanted to make another point, and this is piggybacking on what Karen said earlier. The event partners such as the NFL, the NBA, they hire one or more event production companies such as One Production, Live Nation, BAM, and others to manage specific parts of their event. So, for example, BAM Production, who was one of the event teams for FIFA World Cup, they requested an expression of interest for technology and infrastructure. And I will share that link with Colette and or put it in the chat at the end of my presentation. But basically, these production teams, they work with the local and diverse suppliers to fulfill their needs. So they, get contracted with the NFL, NBA. Then they say, okay, this is what we need to do, and then they look to the local businesses to help them do that. Now, of course, as an example, using FIFA, we know that these may not be the only disciplines needed, and I'm sure there will be more to come, but I just wanted to give you an example of the procurement process when working with sports entertainment events. So about Business Connect, it was initially a signature program of the NFL events department designed to build a direct procurement link between experienced local diverse businesses and NFL special events vendors and event producers. So as part of our Super Bowl 56 efforts, LASEC first launched Business Connect in October of 2020. So we're a young program here in LA, but it's been across multiple markets prior to coming to LA in 2020. Next slide, please. So currently we have about 200 suppliers in the program focused on event production. And our demographics make up the following. So right now we have about 79% minority owned, 50% women owned, 9% LGBTQIA plus owned, and then 6% veteran owned. And what we would love to do, I think when I last checked, our veterans owned businesses were about at 9%, but of course we definitely want to increase that number as well. So again, we're gearing up to add more suppliers because of all these great events coming to LA, and the demographics is listed. So please, if you have one of these businesses, reach out to me at the end of the presentation. Next slide, please. So to be invited to apply, again, we just talked about that a little bit. For the program, you must be an experienced local diverse supplier with the capacity to meet the subcontracting needs of LASEC event partners, again, NFL, MLB, NBA, etc. Both LASEC and our major event partners all require certification. So I'm glad Karen touched upon that as a requirement for participation in their supplier diversity programs. So a lot of people say, well, why do you guys want it? Why does Business Connect want it? Because it's not just us wanting it, it's the major event partners that need that to be able to track and stat, make sure they're doing what they need to do. So again, we define diverse as any company that's owned by a woman, minority, LGBTQIA plus person with a disability or veteran. It's important to us, LASEC, that our workplace and the companies that we do business with have access to a workforce that is not only inclusive and representative of the state of California and Los Angeles, but of the world. And so our teams, both internal and external, welcome people of all diverse backgrounds and national origins, gender identities across all socioeconomic statuses. So our vetting process, though, is a multi-step verification process that's worked again successfully in 17 markets nationwide. The system we currently use was customized to identify the capacity, and again, Karen touched upon that about capacity and volume, business acumen and expertise of each company under consideration. Our team is trained to confirm the diverse ownership and financial viability of each applicant. So I gave an example when I met Colette initially. You may have someone that wants you to do lunches for staff at the Intuit Dome, for example, and you have a sandwich, some chips, and an apple. Well, maybe your chip person didn't come through, so now you have to go to Costco to get some more chips to include with that. So does your company have the strength and the viability to have to do that and still deliver and still run your business? So those are things that we're looking at when we're vetting our companies. Next slide, please. So again, Business Connect follows federal guidelines on certifications. Although we accept the big five, we also accept select local, city, and state verifications or certifications as well. So there are some listed on there. Karen showed you some others. So yeah, just want to make sure you have all those resources available. Next slide. So earlier I mentioned that our program works with businesses in event production. The current slide here lists the most requested and typical business disciplines under event production that are utilized by current event partners producing premier sports and entertainment events. So Business Connect again was designed to scale in size and scope and has built relationships in Los Angeles that will easily allow us to add new suppliers to existing business lines and disciplines and create new service and product lines as needed to meet the subcontracting needs of our event partners. So we do plan to start our recruitment process in late 2024 as we're working with these venues, the primes and the events to determine their event production needs. So again, remember, we're not hearing directly from the NFL or NBA. They hire their event production companies. Once they do that, they determine what role they're going to play, and then they reach out to different organizations to find local diverse suppliers or just businesses in general. So, but in addition to the high profile events for our program, I'm also looking for other opportunities outside of the larger events to try to maintain a level of consistency, as Karen said, engagement of opportunities for our suppliers. So again, helping you prep for the next event, seeing what you need, what could you have done better? So just making sure you have those opportunities in between the larger events and where do you need to grow. Next slide, please. So these are some of the major events our suppliers were
Hello?
participants in with remarkable success. And so you see there's again, we did CFP, the college football playoffs, we did WrestleMania, ESPYs, BET, there's a few on there. And as a result, we talked about networking. Again, you guys created that foundation for me, so thank you. But you talked about networking, finding out who you know, because as a result of our suppliers doing so, about 20 to 25% of them have been asked to take on additional projects and given other opportunities with clients we've introduced them to through the program. So got to work your network. That definitely will pay off. And again, work your network because, our Business Connect suppliers have done a wonderful job doing so. And again, encouraging you all to continue to do the same. Some of our folks have worked hard to establishing these relationships outside of Business Connect to become the go-to suppliers for several venues and events. And again, they're listed on the screen. As Karen mentioned earlier, you're trying to unseat somebody. We call that a gotta guy. So, you talk to some of these event companies and production companies and they already got a guy, right? But we want to replace that gotta guy with someone who can also do that work in our area, right? In Los Angeles, a local business, whether you're diverse or not. So what I wanted to do is just share a video from one of our suppliers highlighting their success and participation in Business Connect, as well as their community involvement. And this is Joe and Celia Ward Wallace with South LA Cafe.
And you know what, Simona, I think we lost the link. So we
Lost the
will
link?
send,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
I don't, I
You know
saw,
what? It's on the website. So if they want to look at it on our website, you definitely can, you have an opportunity to do so.
and we'll
Um,
send it out as well.
yeah,
We'll send it
yeah.
to everyone. Okay.
Yeah, and so and just so you know, as an advocate for procurement opportunities and supplier diversity, LASCC, we support its continued innovation. You all bring new perspectives, mindset, and ideas. I mean, competition. Supplier diversity creates competition amongst all businesses, including diverse businesses, which can increase the quality of goods and services. Economic growth. That's a huge piece of this, right? Your business can be a tool for job creation. And it was shared a little bit in the video, but especially in often overlooked communities. But furthermore, diverse supply chains contribute to the improved financial performance. And of course, you all contribute to the long-term sustainability in the cities in which you have your businesses. So next slide, please. I am your contact for the Business Connect program, and my information is listed on the slide. You're more than welcome to call or email if you have any questions about the program or how to get involved. If you saw one of your business disciplines on there and you meet the eligibility and criteria, just give me a call. I saw some people pop in the chat and say they were already ready to go. And so again, if you fall in one of those business disciplines, please reach out to me. And then on the QR code, if you click on that code, it will take you to the Business Connect webpage on the LASEC website, where you can find a lot of the information I discussed today. So I saw some folks asking for the recording. You could definitely have the recording, but this information is also discussed on our website. And then last slide, a huge thank you again for the opportunity to speak to you all today. Um, Such a pleasure to be here. I will continue, as always, to be an advocate for procurement opportunities in Los Angeles and continue my collaboration with local resources to bring not only educational opportunities, but also resources, whether you're in our program or not. So I'm wishing you all much success. And again, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Simona. And Simona's so smooth, you guys. I had planned a great introduction of her. She saw I was still on mute and just jumped right in. So thank you, Simona.
It's fine. It's fine.
Smooth, smooth. So we do have opportunity time for questions. So please put your questions in the chat. Because of the size of the group, we won't have verbal questions, but please put your questions into the chat. I saw that the question, what if I'm ready now? Well, if you're ready now, work with your advisor on your plan. What is your plan? Who are you targeting? You guys, as a small business, I was certified and I did feel like I misplaced my time. Karen talked about that. Make sure your time is applied properly in this space, because you could go spinning. There's a lot of opportunities, but you want to figure out where's your opportunity. It's case by case, business by business. So Simona laid the groundwork for you. Karen laid groundwork for you. But now what about, where does your business fit? And that's going to require research for you to figure that out if you have not done so already. So make sure to meet with your advisors in this space. All right, so were there any questions? So for those that are ready, see your advisor right away. Let's work on your plan and start making those connections if you have not already. So Steve Bales asks, is LASIK only for minority owned? Yes.
Yes, we're the Supplier Diversity Initiative, yeah, for our organization.
But minority or and veteran as
Veteran,
well.
LGBTQIA plus, yes.
Yes. How do I confirm who my advisor is? Great. Briogeny is going to put into the chat for us how to link up with your advisor if you do not have an advisor already assigned to you to assist you. Victoria, thank you for that question. All right. You saw one possible opportunity for entertainment that's very general. What kind of entertainment opportunities on that? Simone, I think that was from the list.
Yeah, and so again, looking at all the major sporting events you have, entertainment is like WrestleMania. We are trying to link up with some of the other folks like Live Nation for the concerts, but that may or may not be through the venue in which they're working with. So again, just finding out who those folks are as well. I mean, it's we have to do the same thing, do our due diligence. So yeah, when I talk about entertainment, it's across the board. So a lot of the entertainment activities that come to Los Angeles.
Okay. And then Carla saw requirements to be in business since 2020. Will that extend forward in future years? For example, I started in 2022. Would I become eligible once I reach more years of being in business? So from the event.
Yes, and we are looking at least 3.5 years. That's been our sweet spot in the program. And again, so when we're sharing the folks who are available, with these event partners and production companies, then they go, oh, okay, so just so they have some time. And then of course you get all the training and everything after you join the program.
Yeah.
I had a quick question, Simona. I think
Yes.
somebody was wondering, are you guys also looking for small businesses?
Yeah, they're all local, diverse small businesses. Yes. And here's the deal. So we stopped saying small businesses because small can mean many of things, right? You go to the federal website, it says you make $1 million. You go to a state website, it can say, you have up to 20 employees and such. And so we didn't want to, exclude anyone from the whole process. So we kind of stopped saying small businesses, but yes, to that point, yes, we do.
Yeah, because I think we have some people who might not be in the minority, the women, the LGBT or the veterans bucket, but we still are looking for local businesses. and local small businesses. So they might go to the city of LA, or they might come to
Yes.
PCR, and we can help them find the appropriate certification for them. For almost anybody who's been on this call, there is a certification that will work for you. It's just doing the diagnostic to find out which one is best.
Right. And as I mentioned, just to clarify, this is the Business Connect program is a supplier diversity initiative. So, but we do accept small businesses. So my apologies if I misunderstood that question. But again, here's the deal. These opportunities are open to everyone. Again, it's just a matter of you getting yourself on all these platforms that are available. So there's Ramp, there's Compete for One LA with the county. There's LAWA with the Los Angeles was it World Airports? There's so many platforms out there. AEG has a platform where you can enter all your information and, of course, your NAICS codes. So when they're looking for particular disciplines, then you'll pop up. So I encourage you when you're ready to put your business across all these multiple platforms that are available.
And I know there was a question. Yes, we will make this video available for the attendees of today's presentation. So we can provide you a link for a limited time. So we'll make sure to provide that for you. Will you have another webinar? We are working on our Road to the Olympics planning. Thank you for that question. And so in the future, there are other resources in the LA network. There is a procurement and supplier program that already exists to help get people ready. We have specialists in our advising pool as well. And so, yes, we are working on providing you guys all the tools that you need. Question here, is Business Connect open to both for-profit and nonprofit organizations?
Never got that question about the nonprofit. I can double check and get back to Colette and let her know so she can share that information.
Yes. And oftentimes, though, the certifications are for-profit only.
Right.
So we have not seen certifications for, I don't know of any certifications for nonprofit. So I expect that these will be for-profit enterprises, is my expectation based on certifications that I've seen. So, but Simona, that's a great one to know for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if there's no certification process, I don't think, again, we go off of what these event partners are requesting. So if they request a certification, then that's what we need. And if a nonprofit can't do that, then yeah, that wouldn't fit our program.
Okay. Thank you. Any more questions? We have just a couple of things left to share for you. We have one question to ask you all. Should you reach out to me or Karen to become a client, Briogeny is going to give you the information in the link of where you can just reach out to our info box and they'll get you set up, actually, info@pcrsbdc.org. All right.
And can I mention one other thing, Colette, just
Yeah.
before you finish up? I just wanted to mention, I know one of the things that we're having conversation with our suppliers about is collaboration. I know someone had asked earlier in the chat if they could introduce themselves, to each other, just to collaborate. But that's a huge piece of it. I mean, if you have a smaller business and you may not have the volume or capacity to, deal with the larger, requests from some of these event partners and venues, I encourage you to find someone that you can work with and you can partner with. Even in thinking about this is long term, but think about the Olympics. You have multiple people from multiple countries coming here to experience LA. So I know I was a part of one particular training opportunity where they talked about creating the LA experience. So what could that look like? Maybe somebody has a transportation company. That transportation company can then take somebody through LA where they experience restaurants. Maybe they experience, some other pieces of LA that are, that are historical. So creating that experience so everybody has a part in that experience. I thought that was a great idea. So again, don't sleep on not collaborating because it can definitely assist you in the long run. Thank you, Colette.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So just a couple of things. You guys know we have lots of workshops part of getting ready for procurement is making sure that you're financially ready. There's so many different workshops here, and we'll review those. If you have not started your business yet, let's get you started. And maybe there's opportunities to participate in smaller ways. And Simone and I have talked about other ways that people can participate. So if they're not part of Business Connect, or not quite, it's not quite your 3 years yet, but what could you do with your business? How can you participate in Olympic activities? So we'll be working on that type of information as well. So there are workshops here, English and Spanish. Lots of financial fitness. You all, are you getting ready? Like, are you pumping that financial fitness iron? Let's go, because that's how you're going to get the funding and the resources that you need to be able to advance and to actually grow your businesses to get some of the scale. So your business has got to be successful. And one of the ways is to make sure that you're financially successful. Okay. So we're here to help you to do all of that. Then we also have sell online with e-commerce tools. Maybe there's some other things that you guys can do here, but this should be very helpful in our Grow with Google. Finally, guys, you'll get a survey for today's workshop. So if you would please complete that survey, that is how we are actually graded as well. Feel free to Google us. Many of you got the request for letters from us because of the potential budget cuts from the state. So I just want to say heartfelt thank you for those that participated and provided support letters. We so appreciate that as well. And then continue to follow us. Last question for you all. What's your next step? So what one action will you take based on what you've learned to take, and by when? Put that in the chat. Let's see some accountability. Is this something, are you going to start your research? Are you going to take a financial fitness class? What are you going to do? Go ahead. Don't put it to me privately. Go ahead and tell the group. Brianna shared, talk to an advisor ASAP. Great. Mangan, or Jennifer, get an advisor. Love that. And your advisors, that's where the rubber meets the road, right? Talk to your advisor, because this doesn't cover everything. You're right. These workshops do not cover everything. This is a one-to-one type activity. Complete your business loan application for operating. Great. Okay. Advisor meeting next week, starting your prep. All right. I want to hear financial plan. So what is it going to take? How are you going to go? Verify your certifications. Great. Financial fitness. All right, you guys. So we're excited about this road to the Olympics. We know that many of you will be able to get on the road and drive through and actually deliver your goods and services as we march our way through to this. And so this is just the beginning. We're so grateful to have Simona. Simona answered the call. I met her at another workshop, and I said, I gotta have her. She's gotta come and talk to our people about workshops. And Karen is always here as a wonderful resource for you all on the sourcing side. So we thank you all for joining today. Let's go get it. Let's grow up and be able to take advantage of these bigger opportunities that are coming through to the wonderful city of Los Angeles and the Los Angeles area. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. Hope you lunched and learned, or you'll lunch later. Have a great day. Simona, thanks again. Karen,
Thank you.
and Briagini and team China, thank you guys all for putting everything together. Take care. Oh, one last thing. If you need workshops, scan there and you know how to find us. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.